All right, guys, DoorDash here with an update in regards to my acceptance rate. Uh, and I wanted to let you know what happened today. I had a conversation with DoorDash today, and it was quite interesting. And essentially, I called in regarding the issue. I was unable to get in touch with anyone last night. I guess it was maybe too late. I don't know. I could not get through. So I figured I'll call in the morning. Android phones. One says 52, both of them time to say, hey, look, what's going on with my ticket right now with my appeal? They said it's still active, it's still being reviewed. Someone will probably be in contact with you hopefully today. I said, great, fantastic. However, the interesting information that was given to me by this DoorDash representative, I want to share that with you. Take it for what you will, and for how valid it is. So what I was told by her was, number one, that the fact that I'm using Android is that Android is a lot less reliable than iPhone. That's what she said. She said iPhone is more compatible with the DoorDash app. It's going to be more accurate. It's going to have better ability to get orders. This is coming from a DoorDash rep. She said it is much more compatible and that it works better. She noticed that my Android was listed as my main device. And I explained what I was doing, that I have, you're confusing the system. So she claimed, and again, I don't know how valid it is. I'm going to test it out because that's what I always do. And she refused to take any information or screenshots. She said there was no use. Her recommendation was simply use my iPhone. And since the iPhone is accurate, it's the more accurate device. And she recommended that I take the Android off my account and put the iPhone on my account. So, again, I am not subscribing that this is correct information. It could be the work of a lazy agent who just didn't want to deal with this issue. She said she saw again that I had a ratings appeal already, and she was just like, I'm not going to add to it if it continues to persist. She said she thought it would clear up when I did my first order today. Because she said that what happens is Android tends to sometimes not update correctly because it doesn't connect to their servers as good. And as a result, the Android, whatever it is, again, this is an issue that's spread across two different phones, so it's definitely not the device. It's DoorDash's app with Android. And she said that's what she thought it was. And again, I offered her, I said, I have screenshots, I have video, I'd like this looked into. And she pretty much said, I'm not looking into it for you. Use an iPhone. The iPhone is correct. Deregister your Android device and use iPhone only. So what I interpret this as, my own personal interpretation is this. I went and started using Android again because I noticed the iPhone was giving me issues multi-apping. It was denying me notifications if I wasn't inside the app. It made the experience much more difficult on me as a dasher if I was leaving the app, which I am always going to be leaving the app because I'm always going to be multi-apping. And I believe DoorDash absolutely is favoring iPhone right now because iPhone is allowing them more control over the experience. And that is significant. So I want you to think about that, all right? And just consider that when you're looking at the device you're going to use. I think some of the things that I've told you in the past are correct, that I have said that DoorDash doesn't like Android because of the fact that Android gives the user more freedom. So it's kind of crazy that this is going on. It's crazy that they won't address the acceptance rate issue. I can't even believe that. I mean, that's nuts to me. But that's what it is. And that's where we're at. So, again, if you're having this issue, if you have access to an iPhone and an Android phone, please check it out and see if your acceptance rates are the same. And then call DoorDash support and try to bring attention to this issue. Because to me, having 2 Android devices with the lower acceptance rate and all my iPhone devices reading a higher acceptance rate, there's a problem there. I mean, there's just a problem there, and it's not my hardware. It's DoorDash prioritizing one operating system over the other. I guess you get a higher acceptance rate with an iPhone. That makes no sense to me. And the lady acknowledged, yeah, you're right, that doesn't make any sense, but I think it's just because iPhone connects better. Use your iPhone. And that was pretty much what she was promoting. So I guess decide what's for you. If you're going to be a sole DoorDash user, if you're going to be one of these people out here that's decided DoorDash is for me, I don't need any other apps, and that ridiculously DoorDash is the multi-app. It can't be the multi-app, but it's one app, so it can't be the multi-app. But if you decided that that's where you want to put all your stuff, then buy an iPhone, use an iPhone solely for DoorDash, and go forward. The issue for me is I really do enjoy the experience of the driver utility app, and I believe it offers so much value that I can't justify. You know, I had thought of at one time of saying, well, I would just use an iPhone to DoorDash. I have suspected that it works and collaborates a little bit better. It's smoother, definitely, for that matter. There's no bugs, there's no issues. But what I'm suggesting here is I think that DoorDash has admitted, I mean, and clearly that's their attitude and mentality, some of the crashes, some of the issues. I think, and as an iPhone user with DoorDash, as an iPhone user, I have not experienced 80% of the issues I've experienced being a Android user. I think it's on purpose. I do not think DoorDash likes the abilities that the Android platform gives the driver, or the things that can happen, like driver utility app, like being able to run it in the background and pop up the bubbles and circumvent DoorDash's attempt to block you, and having apps like the driver utility app automatically push your app to the front regardless of what DoorDash is trying to do, which allows you to multi-app and all those different things. And I think DoorDash is, as it's doing with the acceptance rate, it can't stop you from using it. It can't deactivate you from using it, but it can do what I call a phantom deactivation, which is what's happening with the acceptance rate right now with people. They're just basically deactivating you without deactivating you by simply giving you a more limited, broken experience that only gives you options that are the ones that says, okay, fine, you want to do this, then you're going to only see this. Now, the legality of that remains yet to be challenged, because no one's challenged it yet. No one's been able to collect the data yet. And DoorDash, I think, operates from, is now got its, what I call its pushers out there right now, that are pushing you to say, hey, go for the higher acceptance rate, go for Top Dasher, do what DoorDash wants you to do. Lose money now and have faith that DoorDash will return that money to you times 2, times 3, times 4. And that's crazy to me. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. There's no business in the world that would ever operate that way, yet Dashers are being pushed to operate that way. And that is because Dashers are, by design, trained to be employees. That's the truth. They're trained to be employees. It's what's familiar. It's what's comfortable. And when you have these people come out here, these DoorDash pushers, these DoorDash enthusiasts who are like, go to DoorDash, go to DoorDash. Look, it's valid. Yes, you're seeing extra perks from doing what DoorDash wants you to do, but it's temporary. It's a long ball game designed to get you to work against your own self-interest. They do not want you to feel like you have a choice. They don't want you to feel like you're an independent contractor. They want you to be beholden to them. So you're worrying about, oh my God, my acceptance rate. And then you find out that the acceptance rate they have in their system doesn't match, or they're trying to lower it on you, even when you have a higher acceptance rate, or when they try to give you something that they tell you is real, and then they try to take it back behind the scenes and not have any transparency. And the reality is they don't even owe you that transparency, because you're an independent contractor. They owe you nothing. They just need you to work today like you're an employee, blind to the fact that you're hurting yourself and that you're helping them. And that is true. And any of these Top Dasher channels that are out here pushing a story that's different than that, and isn't saying to you, hey, go do this, but it's a really risky adventure, and this is why, is not telling the whole truth. And they're not telling the whole truth because they're trying to promote their own self-needs, either because they're a DoorDash shill, or two, they're trying to promote their own self-interest, which might be, hey, they walked into a genius situation to where they can literally explain away everything. Because I've watched these guys out here, and they're like the snake oil salesman. At 1 minute, they're telling you this will work in every market. Everybody try it, regardless of market. You can make money with Top Dasher. Then somebody comes in and says, hey, wait a minute, I'm not making a market. Or I made the same amount of money as you, multi-apping. Market specific, don't come in here. I'm in this market, you're in that market. Of course I'd expect to see that. Oh, really? You were just telling me that market didn't matter. So what matters? It doesn't. It's a slick way to say there's always an answer. And you never have accountability because they're not showing, they have not come to the table and said, let me show you this volume of information. This is how many orders I was accepting. This is how many orders I was declining. I mean, there's one particular individual out there who refuses to talk about their acceptance rate because they claim it's too dangerous and that if other people know, I mean, it's ridiculous. And it's the playbook we've seen in the last few years for all aspects of other things, that people want to push you in the direction without showing you information. And they just scare you. And that's all that's being used right now is the fear, it's the collective fear that somebody else is getting something that you're not. So I better join up. I mean, the amazing amount of YouTubers out there that I saw this month who actually went through a week of hell, who went through receiving less with, knowing that what was going on for a lot of them, if their content is true blue, they've been making money. What are you doing? It's working. Last night on the Pedro Live, I saw Nova Dasher, who was asked, are you going to be willing to do this? And he said, absolutely not. What I'm doing is working. I know my market. I know what the hell is. And that's kind of the way I feel about my market. If I had to go through the small amount of pain I went through to try to just maintain a 70% acceptance rate from already being reset, which again, now DoorDash is telling me didn't count, but we're working through that. I can't imagine that that the impact of being Top Dasher is really going to impact my earnings to such a degree that being a regular DoorDasher and multi-apping and finding the best order value and taking the value order that makes the most sense will always continue to be king of the day, because that's all we're trying to do out here is value our time. Our time is money. Money is time. In time, we're trading our time for money when we're not with our family and doing other things that are really important to us. And that's it. And being a gig tuber or being a gig business operator is absolutely all about your time. You join this for time. It's about reallocating your time better than anyone else. And you're doing gigs all the time, whether it's DoorDash, whether it's something else, whether it's something else you have the time to develop because DoorDash is giving you cash flow to develop that. And then you have DoorDash cash flow, you have whatever else you're developing, and you're just developing the different cash flows. Some will be bigger than others, some may overtake others, but that's what it's all about. And if you limit yourself and just give all your time to DoorDash, then what's the point of that? It's not going to work in the long run. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're so sold on this because you're like, oh, it's this, but you're not getting sold with any data. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense with any type of business sense. And there is nobody out there reinventing the wheel or doing anything or capable of doing anything different than what anybody else was doing for the last 6 years. And anyone that tells you this is absolutely selling you a bill of goods, and they just want you to go give them money so they can give you more bill of goods and reinforce for you that what you're doing is right, and you're going to make money, and it's going to be amazing, it's going to be wonderful. I mean, it's just absolutely, to me, startling because it's just a sales approach to get you to give them money for their information, which really isn't any new information. It isn't information that you're not capable of finding on your own if you went out and found it. There is no magic pill, people. There is no magicness. And I'm not saying you can't go out and experiment. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that you are. In fact, like I said, I'm happy so many YouTubers are doing it, besides the fact that I think they're going to probably find in the end that they're putting themselves through unneeded hell to make either a little less or a little more, or maybe just about the same as what they would do if they were multi-apping. Or maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe right now it is a great time to be a top dasher and you ride that wave. But you better be riding that wave with eyes wide open, analyzing your market, collecting stats, and making sure that you are seeing the gains that you were seeing today, tomorrow, to make sure it's still worth it. And to make sure that every single month, those first 3 weeks, that you're assessing, how am I doing? How did I do? Was this a good month? And if it was a good month, if it was an outstanding month, if you're earning more and more each month, then I guess continue on the path. Put yourself through the pain if it's causing you, if it's giving you a lot of gain. But be able to move and pivot as fast as you can. Be collecting data. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble, because if you're accepting every single order and suddenly that order value goes down, boom, you're going to be done. So anyways, guys, I want to give you that update. I got off on a tangent, but I just wanted to share that information with you. I saw some people jumping in and out. Whoever jumped in, thank you so much for jumping in, saying hi and listening. Listen back to the beginning. There's some good information there regarding DoorDash and what they told me regarding acceptance rates and the differences between Android and iPhone. So I'd recommend you go back and listen to the beginning of the stream. I'm not going to repeat it because I don't have time to, but it's very, very good information, especially if you're out there making a decision about what phone to buy or how to connect or what you want to do. I don't know how accurate it is from the agent, but it's very interesting information nonetheless. Information's power. Use it to make your decisions and make better decisions. All right, guys, I'll be talking to you soon. Check out my video I just dropped. It's a ride along, and right after my acceptance rate reset, I'm going to be posting videos all along that journey I had that leads up to the issues I'm having now, which I will be doing details on that as well. I'll talk to you soon, guys. Stay safe, stay profitable, and I'll talk to you soon.